Okay, so let's get started. Hello and welcome to Vaidya's Chess Hub. And it is Sunday, the day when we are going to go through our performances, and I shall share my observations with you. And I say observations, it's not just one, there are so many. And first of all, I would like to compliment you all on the way you put up a decent fight. I remember that Omkar sir had decided that he would play, and his rating is 2100 plus. So it was a challenge and an uphill task, as I had mentioned in the notifications. Why I was so impressed is the way you guys put up a fight, and really I was so impressed. In this feedback session, I will tell you what else you could have done and the simple areas where you can improve upon and be more effective. Well, yeah, there are finer aspects, but clearly there were some places where even at your level, you possibly other times you wouldn't have gone wrong. So there is a lot to share. Let's get started. Hello to everybody who's just joining in. So Prisha has just joined in. Prisha, you should be a little earlier here. Vyang says I should focus a little bit on the threats, and so the biggest enemy is that you don't watch the pin. Yeah, that's your biggest adversary. You are sometimes very careless about the pins. I'm going to share a lot about this. Let's share the first screenshot. That's the first one, the podium finishers. As I said, Omkar sir deserved to win. He had a perfect clean score, 6 out of 6, and he deserved to be on the first place. Played brilliantly. That is why we all wanted him to play, and it is always fun when you have some challenge. So his performance was also awesome, more than what his rating is. So therefore, clearly a winning performance by Omkar sir, and clearly he should be praised for that. There's no doubt about that. Pooja ma'am, thanks for joining in. Chinmay, hello everybody. Please try to be here before 12 o'clock. Our session begins at 12. Perfect. Digital, is it not? So please try to be here 5 minutes earlier. Yeah, okay. So that was about the first place. The second place belonged to Kshitij, who also deserved it perfectly. And Kshitij, well, there is a feedback for you as well, because you had a big chance against Omkar sir. You could have actually defeated him, and he is here. I saw his message in the chat window. I did find him there, so he is listening to this. You had a wonderful chance, Kshitij, against Omkar sir. Believe me when I say that. And earlier in the same game, sir was playing flawlessly. He was the one winning, but then after he gave you that knight, we will see all the games, but after he gave you that knight, you had some real chances. At the end, you just faltered. You lost the rook. Otherwise, Kshitij, you had a wonderful chance to beat Omkar sir even, and I am proud of you. Wonderful. And what about that third place? What about that third place? Belongs to our student from Canada, Deep Patel. And Deep actually has to, we all know that, we said this time and again, we start the tournament here at 6 o'clock, but when he is there in Canada, located there, well, he has to get up at 5:30 in the morning to play this tournament. This is massive. You talk of commitment, you talk of love for the game. Well, here is a brilliant example. He gets up, he gets himself ready to play the tournament. Our tournament begins at 5:30 in Canada. Remember that. Then he plays the tournament for an hour. Then he again gets ready for his office. He has to go to work there. So that is just brilliant. And he's not done this on just some Friday. Now he has been a consistent player. And I really want you all to appreciate that and understand. Every time you complain about a little thing here and there, he is probably a student, is a working student, I would say. So if there is Surendra ji at 70, there's Pooja ma'am in 60s, and then there is Deep, who is also senior when it comes to the age. Okay, so he is a working student, and appreciate the dedication. This is amazing. Well, hello to Purvesh. Purvesh, you are late. Please don't join the stream late. There is no reason why you should be online, late for an online lecture. That really irritates. Don't do that. Yatharth is also late, but he is saying sorry. Well, okay, I'll accept this, but don't make it a habit. You should not be late for an online lecture. Makes no sense. Everybody is here 15 minutes well in advance. And well, Nijapkar is also here. Nijapkar, let me talk to you a little bit. Well, you had made a request that the tournament timing be changed, but come on, Samarth, that's not possible for a single guy to change the tournament. Everybody has fine-tuned themselves according to the timings that we have. Some of them have adjusted their tuition timings based on what we do. So then suddenly making such changes is not possible. Do the best that you can, but I will understand your problem that you say that there's often a power failure or something like that. But it's really not practical to change the tournament timings. So we will probably stick to it. But you can do your best, and I will watch for your performances, Samartha. You are somebody What you can do is in your spare time when you play Blitz, you should find yourself in 1800s, 1900s. You definitely belong there, Samartha. You have no idea. I've always said this. You can pick up any previous live stream and you will see me talking this about you, that you deserve to be there. So, but then the change of timing is something that is really not practical, wouldn't be possible. Alright, sanitized claps. Everybody is doing sanitized claps. And Jay is saying that the stream is buffering. No, the stream is 100% fluent as butter. So we have said this. We now use this a lot. It's not this metaphor, fluent as butter. I think Saumitra coined it, and we liked it so much. Okay, so now we'll start with our first screenshot. This was about the podium finishers. Another mention is Pragya. Pragya is doing really well. Why am I praising her here? Well, the reason why I want to praise Pragya is because her rating suggests she's 1600. But boy, the performance rating is 1800. That's solid 200 points almost, the difference between her rating and her actual performance. That is incredible. So Pragya, if you are listening to this stream, Kshitij tells me that he shared this link with you. That is brilliant. Pragya, very well done. Your rating is in 1600s, but your performance was 1800. That is incredible. Keep it up, you'll do even better. Okay. And time to dive in and see who's going to get the first feedback. Please make a proper note of the feedback. So here is the first one I want to share. This one is for Pooja ma'am. So Pooja ma'am has just said hi. We all saw her hi in the chat. I believe she is there with us. So Pooja ma'am, you claim that you've changed your ID. It is, you say that you are now going to play better. But then how come we have the same kind of blunders from you over and over again? I want you to take a look at this. Your opponent wants to maybe play the Danish gambit of the center game, as they say. So e4, e5, and your opponent, I believe is Samartha. You can see there in the screenshot. It's played d4, and Pooja ma'am, you could have the red arrows. Pooja ma'am, listen to this properly. The red arrows is the correct response. You should either take that pawn or you could go for the Nimzowitsch defense, which is that knight c6 defense. But then you played a blunder. You committed a blunder. You played a move that is a blunder. f6 indicated by the green arrow there. So you cannot do that. No matter how many IDs you make, if your basic of the opening is not concrete, then you will see again that your rating will keep on decreasing. So this is pretty basic. At e4, e5, d4, you either take that pawn or you play knight to c6, but never f6, because what happens is they take the pawn on e5, then your f pawn takes on e5, and there is queen h5 check, and then that opens up Pandora's box, as they say, and one thing leads to another. And in this game you were checkmated, as you can see on the 10th move. You can clearly see the moves. On the move number 10, you got checkmated. Queen f7 is checkmated, and you had a lot of time to spare. That's not what we want. That's not what we want. So Pooja ma'am, please make a note of this feedback properly. You definitely can do better. If it is e4, e5, d4, you please take that pawn or play knight to c6, but never play f6. Okay, the next one. Now this one is for Saumitra. I believe this is an error by time pressure, but well, you cannot do that. I mean, the queens are so close to each other. I don't know if he made a pre-move here. Saumitra can tell us better if this was a pre-move kind of a blunder. Kshitij has given a check, queen f5 check, and what Saumitra played is shown by the green arrow. He put the king on h8, and the queen is hanging on c5, so he could have exchanged the queens. But now what remains to be seen is whether this was a pre-move blunder, because you can see that he had only 16 seconds remaining. But well, yeah, you were doing well, and then such errors hurt. In this game, I would like to say that both the players had their own chances. It was more or less a balanced game until this decisive blunder, and then Soumitra just lost the queen, and the game ended in a jiffy. So Soumitra is saying that I later realized that exchanging queens and knight d6 was winning. So he realized that, but okay, so he accepts that Soumitra is not there now. Soumitra is here. Kshitij, Soumitra is chatting. Anyway, relax. So Soumitra has accepted that this was not a pre-move, but he just missed it. So maybe that was due to time pressure. As I have already said, we can see here that he has only 16 seconds. In a screenshot, you can see that. Alright, all in all, Soumitra, this is just to encourage you that you can play really better. As far as this game is concerned, you both played really well. Okay. So he says that the capacity to think declines. That's because maybe when there's time pressure, it happens. And I agree with you. And you are not the only one. Everybody goes through this. But with practice, this will improve. I have already given you the benefit of the doubt here. You can see that you had 16 seconds when you had this position. So you can definitely do better. Okay. Alright, he was online, Datta, because I think we saw his hi earlier. When the stream started, he said, hello sir, hello. He welcomed everybody. Alright, this is the next feedback now. This is for Deep and Soumitra. Look at this extraordinary position. So maybe this is again for Soumitra. I want to make it very clear that this position looks so extraordinary. Black has 3 pawns. Black has 3 pawns ready to queen. There is G2, there is F2, and there is E2. OMG, how did that come to that? Or how did it come to that? This is just, more than something that is beyond understanding now. This is really incredible. Now, hello Srinath, you're welcome. Please don't be late. Srinath, you're late. Don't be late. Please don't be late. Now, yes, Soumitra maybe has analyzed this game, and I'm telling you, Soumitra, the reason why you should have played this a little better. Here you don't have this excuse of being down on time, because you have more time. At this position, you have more time than your opponent. So here the time excuse here is not really applicable. Now, what is surprising here is that your opponent has only a bishop. I repeat, your opponent only had a bishop, while you had the bishop and the rook pair. So here now what's happening is that you have to realize that when you have more material, you could have actually given your rooks and you were still winning. You say that you should have taken that h3 pawn. I completely agree with you. But you know what? Even before that h3 pawn, you could have, or rather even after that h3 pawn, you could have sacrificed a little bit of material and you still were winning. I'm sure you've done some analysis about this game. But this screenshot, when I took it, was mind-boggling. 3 pawns ready to queen. Come on. G2, F2, E2, how rare is that? Okay. Alright, now Shrikant Patil, hello, you're welcome. Now, please, you're welcome to the channel, but please introduce yourself. Where are you from, sir? Shrikant Patil, or is it one of our students using a different ID? Please let me know. And Soumitra is saying that he agrees with that. Always give back material. Always give back your material. In the sense that when you have a huge lead, you have to understand that you can always give back some of the material and win the game comfortably. You will not believe that Deep had no chance of winning this game. In fact, you guys later after the tournament were on our WhatsApp group and you discussed the exact same thing, if I remember well. And Deep made it very clear that I had no chance in this game. Somehow I got a chance because of the blunder. Okay, but otherwise Deep had absolutely no chance. And just remember this policy: if you have a huge advantage in material, just give some material away so that you still maintain that winning position. What happened, honestly speaking, is you tried to hold back that material advantage and then the game slipped away. I think that is what happened. Moving on, let's go to someone else now. The next feedback is for Kshitij and Vihang. Now, I am sure Vyang would like me saying this over and over, but this is the second Sunday. The last Sunday to last Sunday also I said that your number one enemy, Vihang Gone, your number one enemy is overlooking the pin. You overlook the pin. Kshitij's last move here was queen d6, and he has set up a nice pin. The bishop is pinning the f2 pawn there, and you played the move indicated by the green arrow. You set up your own threat. Fine, I agree with that. Even you set up the threat queen takes f7. But then check comes first. So queen takes g3 will be a check, and as a result you lose your h3 pawn as well. So my biggest suggestion to you is that you must take care of this particular pin weakness of yours. So Shrikant Patel is from Dombivli. Are you one of our students who is using a different ID, Shrikant Patel? And Saumitra has made a hilarious or humorous remark. He says it's a legendary screenshot series. And yes, it's a screenshot at number 1. 3 pawns, 1 square away from queening. You got to give that. Prajna is with us. Prajna, did you join us late? I didn't get your hello sir earlier. So please let me know, Prajna, if you've joined late. Alright, so Vihang, that's your number one enemy there. You have to look at the pin threats. Otherwise, even in this game, you were playing really well. The difference was 100 points. Kshitij is 1914 something. You were over 2000. You're expected to win this, and you were doing well, except for this blunder, and then the game just went away from you. Now this feedback is typical of every Sunday, is it not? Every Sunday. Now who do we see in the pause here? Our beloved student Varang. Okay. Always remember that you should not be seen on a pause mode. That's definitely not great. Okay. So Shrikant Patel is not one of our students. He's a new viewer. You are welcome. Thanks for joining, Shrikant. What do you do? Are you a chess player yourself? What is it that you do, sir? Please let us know. Coming back to the point here, this is our dear student Varang. So Vihang, you can probably, whenever you see him with us online, please share this with, ask him why he was on a pause mode. Now Pooja ma'am has asked us a lovely question. Pooja ma'am's question is, sir, do we have to memorize the openings? The answer is hell no. No, you never memorize the openings. I repeat, never memorize the openings. Openings are not meant to be memorized. You have to just remember the logic of every opening or the motive behind the opening. That's it. Just follow the general opening principles. And I think that Omkar sir made a video about this, about the opening principles. Please guys answer this in the chat. Did Omkar sir make a video about general opening principles? They have been also covered, guys, in our notes, is it not? I think our notes, the Chess Hub notes also cover the opening principles. But I think in addition to that, Omkar sir also made a video about this. So Pooja ma'am, I'll recommend that you go ahead and watch that opening principle video and apply those principles in your game. You never should memorize. Okay. The lag probably is, I don't know, it's not from my end. The net probably is suffering, but that's now. That was not earlier. We are suffering from this lag now. So Jai, it was not an old issue, and it will get sorted. I hope it will get sorted very soon. Okay, let's now deal with something else. I have more feedback, and of course people, the students, they were suggesting that I go ahead and analyze their games with Omkar sir. I believe I have analyzed Vihang's and Deep's game against Omkar sir. Yes, level 4 notes cover that, and Omkar sir also surely created a video. So people have said yes to that. Okay. Srinath, please do take care. This is very serious nowadays. Please take good care of yourself. Very important. Now, the next feedback, please. Let's go to the next one. So, Varang was on a pause here. Make sure, Vihang, that you pass it to him. whenever you see your dear friend online. And this one is pretty important. This one is Prajna versus Samartha. Now, the beauty of this is how to utilize time. I want everybody to be serious about this. The winner here, and I believe Soumitra will now appreciate Samartha here. Okay, so Shrikant Patel is saying that I like playing chess, so I watch your videos. You're welcome, sir. Thank you so much for joining. And hopefully you will enjoy this. It's a Sunday session, Shrikant Patel. So that's the day when I share the feedback with the students, telling them what they could have done better. So since you are a chess player yourself, Shrikant Patel, you're welcome. This is Sunday's lecture where we offer the feedback. But we are active throughout the week, so you can check out our schedule. And at the moment, let me get back to my feedback session. So this is, I was saying, this is an important screenshot. You can see here that Samartha is the winner of this game and he has 5 seconds left. He has 5 seconds left, but he knows that it is +2 increment. Okay, so he went ahead and he got a queen for himself. The pawn is near promotion and he finished off in style. So all those who play fast, all those who have been getting my feedback about playing fast, this is something to, this is a screenshot to remember. Even Prajna used her time very well, 48 seconds, and Samartha did an even better job of utilizing his thinking time so well that even at this position he knows that he is going to win comfortably. I'm very happy with the way things have gone in this tournament. Most of you have shown real progress. I'm very happy with you. And Samartha, this is praise for you. This feedback is not a negative feedback. This is positive. So well done, Samartha. This is very important. And everybody will learn from this. I have no doubt. Now the next is for Avadhoot. Now Avadhoot, if you are here online, and I'm sure Samartha is with us anyway, so I would like Samartha to pass on this message to Avadhoot. So important it is that you know that you have to watch the opponent's last move. Seal this. This is an important principle. What is the important principle? The important principle is that you should watch the opponent's last move. Kshitij here, Kshitij told me that he had prepared for the fried lever attack as well, but as you can see in this snapshot, this one is actually the Danish gambit. So Datta wanted to try that against Avadhoot. The rating difference was a lot, so he thought he would be comfortable there. Now, what is important is Avadhoot is not watching opponent's last move. So the opponent's last move is bishop b2, and surprisingly, what he should have, what happened later is that he gave that g7 pawn and he lost the rook. Let me actually take you to this game. This should be interesting, guys. This is very important. Let me take you to that game. So now I'm on Lichess and we are going to watch this game, Kshitij versus Avadhoot, and you will notice this. Now this is the game. Kshitij is white. We see that over here. Now this is the way the game began, and I don't want the computer to do any analysis. So this is the position. Now Shrikant Patel, if you see down here, this is what we do. This is a schedule for the week. So whenever Shrikant Patel you find time, you're interested, you're definitely welcome. Okay, back to the game, guys. So Datta took that pawn on the b2 square, and now the opponent's last move. It's important you see this thread. Bishop takes g7. That's always is aiming for that. Fianchetto toad, is it not? Now Avadhoot, after knight c6 and knight f3, he played this. He played this horrible move, overlooking the fact that this bishop is going to take g7 pawn. So Samartha, I want you to take this seriously, and it's important that you tell him that you must now, by now, realize that you have to start watching your opponent's last move. You cannot be playing carelessly like this. If you just don't watch opponent's last move, then you are going to suffer. He played this bishop move, and Vihang, now you realize I'm playing the game. Don't just follow the screenshot. So this is the point where I've taken you now. So I have to take the screenshots watching all the games, Vihang. Easy for you to say that you should have taken the screenshot when the bishop moved. Fine. I have to watch all the games. So I have taken the screenshot at the time when it is possible. Come on. Anyway, the point is that this bishop is looking at g7 square. You got to watch the opponent's last move, and Avadut, you have a lot of time. Again, you can clearly see the time is well over 2 minutes. So Samartha, Avadut cannot say that okay, I did not have time, something like that. This is not fair. This is absolutely not fair. Okay, you can do better. Watch, don't just give it so easily. Okay, you can do much better than that. So Avadut, this was for you. Again, something where time can be utilized. The next feedback. Ooh, the next feedback is for dear. Who is that? Is it for our new student or is it for Ayush? I think this is for Ayush, isn't it? You can see the name of Ayush is the player with the black pieces. So Ayush, this is for you. I think Ayush is with us. Please let me know in the chat. Ayush, are you with us? Because if you are with us, this definitely is a feedback for you and you can do better than this. We are just on the topic of watching opponent's last move, and you can see that both the players have decent time with them. Absolutely no problem. They do not have any problem with the time here. Omkar sir is playing here. When you get a chance, is it Omkar sir or is it Granth? I think it's Omkar sir, yeah. Now, when you get a chance to play against some good players, you should make the most of this opportunity. So what happened here is, the red arrow shows the queen was played to d3. You see the bishop on b1, and so the threat is clearly the checkmate on h7. Watch opponent's last move. This is very important. So Avadut, by the way, is online. He says that I'm watching it. Yeah, sure. So he has made a note of the observation. Ayush isn't here, but this is again the same kind of feedback applies to all those who don't still watch the opponent's last move. So he might not be there for the feedback. He's not with us right now for the live stream. But for all, these are the mistakes you make. So clearly the queen and bishop, and there is a checkmate threat on this h7 square, and what he played was the move shown by the green arrow. So he took that pawn on e5 and immediately got checkmated on h7. If you are not going to watch opponent's last move, now you're going to make a decent progress. Okay. Anyway, next one. Is it Grunt? Okay, anyway, so the screenshot speaks for itself. OMG, who is this? Isn't this, who is this? It's Rudra, right? Rudra versus who? Just please, guys, I don't have I can't sometimes see the names very clearly because it's a compressed screenshot for me while I'm streaming it. Who is the one who missed that checkmate in one? Who is the white player here? Is it Rudra? Please let me know if it is Rudra. Just let me know if it was dear beloved Master Rudra Mukadam who missed this mate. Is it Rudra? No. Prajna, there are two Ayush that we have. Ayush Savan and Ayush Tavde. We have got two Ayush with us. It's definitely one of them. Okay, it's Rudra versus Nidhi. Who? Itesh versus Nidhi. Is it? Who are the players here? Nidhi. Itesh versus Nidhi. I clearly cannot see. It's all compressed for me. Alright then. So who missed the mate here? Itesh is white. Alright. So my dear Itesh. Yeah. Are you watching this? My dear Itesh. You had a chance to checkmate Nidhi. You had a chance, Itesh, the one who created this beautiful video solution for last week. You had a chance, Itesh, to checkmate your opponent. You could have been the winner. Just watch how close you came. Queen to e1, or rather, sorry, d8. What am I saying? Queen d8 is checkmate. It's bishop support. OMG, right? I'm sure. Queen d8 is checkmate. Everybody saw that, or am I the only one seeing it? Queen d8 is checkmate, right? You missed a simple checkmate. So Hitesh, it's not Rudra, it is Hitesh. Now people have told me it's Hitesh, and the player with the black pieces was Nidhi. Unbelievably, what happened, I think, was you missed this mate. Yeah, you missed this and lost the game. It's mate in 1. So these are the situations where you have to be careful. And were you in any sort of time trouble? I guess not. You should have easily gotten this. And you would have been the winner, Hitesh. You would have been the winner there. Alright. The next feedback, please. Now this next one is extremely irritating. And who is it? Is it Kshitij versus Durvang? Who is it? Or is it Sahil? Please again tell me the players for this screenshot. Who is the white player here? The queen was blundered. Inexcusable. Inexcusable. What is this? I mean, this is really not done. Who is the white player here? Is it Sahil or who is it? Is it one of them is Durvang, I believe? Nidhi versus Sanchit. Yeah, one of them is Durvang ID and it's Nidhi. Yes. So Samartha and Avadut, watch what your friend did here. Something that you will be really irritated with. So it is Durvang who actually committed this blunder, or is it Nidhi who made this blunder? Who is white here, guys? Nidhi is white. So Nidhi actually made the blunder, not Durvang. So Nidhi, you can do better here. You just blundered the queen. You played queen h4 and queen takes h4. You just gave the queen. The queen had better things to do. I'm sure there was some other move. So, well, this is very important. So, you gifted Durvang the queen then, maybe. So, Nidhi, if you are listening, this is something that you can avoid. You just gave the queen away. So, Nidhi, you should not have blundered your queen like that. Now, this is again extraordinary. And this is my feedback for Kavish. Kavish is the winner here, right? Kavish, well, one queen should be enough. What am I saying? One queen should be enough to checkmate. What happens is you try to make another queen and another queen. As many queens as possible by promoting all the pawns that you have, and sometimes that plan can backfire. What did I just say? Sometimes that plan can backfire, which exactly can, we have seen. I think it was Alan's game. There were 2 games where, they were stalemated in one of the earlier tournaments. So please, one queen is enough to win. Here what you did, you can see that there are 2 queens on the board, as if one queen is not enough for a checkmate. Often your opponent will be happy. Okay, you make 2 queens, 3 queens, and there could be a stalemate. So this is for Kavish. This was a good game. You won the game, but when you have a queen, just go for a simple checkmate if it's possible. Don't make all the queens. And you still have a pawn there, you can see. So very important. And Gopesh is here. Gopesh has joined late. The Eid Ka Chand, yeah, he's joined late. He's careless about things. Always remember Kavish. The next feedback. Now we will not take a look at the screenshot, but because I want to show you some games. And what are those games that I want to show you? I am going to show you first the game Datta versus Omkar sir. This was the game to watch where Datta had a chance and he could have defeated Omkar sir. Omkar sir in the opening was absolutely winning. There was no way that Datta had any chance. But later, clearly Datta had a chance. And Kshitij is white here. Omkar sir is playing the black pieces. Everybody enjoy this. Everybody definitely go ahead and enjoy this. Datta put up a brave fight, and in fact Datta could have even won this game. I'm very proud of you. Let's continue. It's the autocorrect. Guys, whenever Jay types something, Damn it, that's autocorrect. Vihang becomes Chiang. Happens a lot. Jay, please stop that autocorrect. Soumitra, I'm not going to reduce the purple border every time. I did it once and I believe I'll show you where I did that. This is the cropped purple thing. I'll show you. This is where I have cropped the purple border. I cannot crop it every time because at the edges it doesn't look good. So this was the purple border that I cropped. Look at your screen right now. And the same thing when I have it with chat, the size does matter over there. So I cannot really change the border in all of them. Okay, so this one is where I could crop. And there are other places where I could not crop the borders. Okay, so don't worry about it. I was talking about the game. Let's get started with this. Initially, and by the way, Datta, don't go for this exchange. To take is a mistake, and this is the feedback also for Vihang and Soumitra and Kshitij, all three of you. To take is a mistake in chess. So when the pieces are doing fine at the place, unless you gain something, you should not exchange. So Kshitij, if you're listening, to take is a mistake. Over here in this position, Queen D2 is much better for white. What you did was exchange that knight on C6, and that is good for black. Your knight on D4 is active. You're exchanging that for another piece and the queen becomes active on C6. So you solved the problems there for black. So it is not good to exchange. And Omkar sir, what he did was he strengthened the center. So really left you with no chance. To take is a mistake. The game proceeded, and I've observed one thing about Kshitij in your game. Your king's safety is sometimes compromised. Your knowledge of endgames is growing day by day. Fantastic. But when it comes to the middle, opening in the middle phases, your king often remains exposed. I've seen that in a lot of games. I'll share games with you, don't worry. But this is just yet another example of that, Kshitij. Your king is not super safe at times. Okay, let's take a look at what's happening here. Omkar sir here is totally winning until I'll share that. I'll come to that moment. Well, this is the time that I'm talking about. Here now, after he played this move, Datta, after he played this move, look at the situation. Omkar sir is winning minus 3.7. The moment he played bishop b7, he just gave you this knight, and now it is plus 4.2. Datta, in your favor. You are winning here. Plus 4.2. Everybody should watch this. This is fantastic. Plus 4.2 is massive. This is really, really brilliant. Okay. Amazing. So Datta, I'm really proud of you. Just, remember this. You are plus 4.2 against 2100. That's amazing. You should not. And that reminds me, in one of my previous lectures, I said, in chess, if there is something that is very tough, is winning a one game. I said this a few lectures ago. Winning a one game is tough in chess. So here you have an opportunity. You are plus 4.2 against 2100. You could have won. You would have seriously, come first in that tournament, Datta. Okay. And now let us continue with the game. After this, what happened was bishop b7, you took that, and here it's plus 7.2 now. What more do you want, Datta? What more do you want? Plus 7.2? What's up? The check was pretty good, and here the winning move, the ultimate winning move was queen f5, threatening checkmate. And if you do that and he tries to stop the checkmate like this, it does not work because there is rook exchange, I'm sure. Setting up a discovered is one thing, and getting this rook exchanged. Computer has announced mate in 11. If you see this on your screen, computer has calculated a mate. You are going to checkmate Omkar sir in the next 11 moves. So you can calculate this better. But I am saying that you had winning chances against 2100 players after you correctly took this knight. Now let's go to the end game. So you missed the chance here Again, Omkar sir was back in the game because you can see it's minus 1.4 now. And now here Omkar sir missed a very easy defense. What happened was, and it happens because both of you are now in time pressure. Watch this. It's easy for me to say, but both of you are under time pressure and I understand this. So Omkar sir is down to 28 seconds. You are down to last 16 seconds. So now what happened is, Omkar sir clearly saw that you're attacking this f6 pawn, and so he defended it with the queen. However, it was better to defend it with the rook because you would not have given the queen for the rook, surely, right? But he defended it with the queen, and now you clearly took it because you are winning a pawn here. Now watch what happens. The game went on, and it is here that you beautifully won the pawns all over. It was winning for you, Datta. Now this is something interesting. Yeah, let's go ahead, go on. Again, you are plus 4.1 because that pawn on the H file, Datta, is massive for you. The pawn on the H file is completely winning this game for you. Completely. Okay. Now, what happens is, here you played the correct move, still the correct move, and now the blunder. Unfortunately, you should have just kept the rook on the E file, but you brought it back, and after this comes the blunder. It's plus 2.6 right now, and that's it. And that's it. Omkar sir is winning here. Now so this was incredible. Well, not fair. Not fair. Really not fair. It was here that it was a discovered check. The king is attacking the rook, so you had to take the pawn, otherwise the pawn is going to queen. Otherwise, just before this move, just keep the the E file for your rook, and you have this massive pawns. You clearly were winning. That's something that I want to say was clearly important. And the juniors should listen to this feedback properly. Don't just think that, hey, this is the feedback for 2100, 1900. Learn from this, that even they have come up from where you are, from the 1500, 1200, 1400, 1700. They eventually climbed the ladder. The juniors should also do the same. I always say this. The feedback for the seniors is not just feedback for the seniors. Okay? So Datta could have done better there. Now, there is something else that I would like to share. Vihang versus Omkar sir. Let's watch that. Vihang versus Omkar sir was also a very interesting encounter where Vihang also had a chance. And Vihang, what if I tell you that you missed a simple pawn capture? Yes, Vihang, yes. You missed a simple pawn capture. We'll take a look at it from the white side because you are the player with the white pieces. Omkar sir had black pieces. You missed a simple pawn capture. Now, the point of this game is right towards the middle game, okay? Vihang clearly chose to play something else, not the typical e4 opening. This is going fine. At the moment, there is no problem here. Now, Vihang, watch this. Watch this. Omkar sir played this move. Queen to f6. You will not believe here what you missed was a simple rook takes pawn winning. And why is that so massive, Vihang? Is because the knight is pinned. It's already attacked twice by the rook and by the queen. Then you have the bishop that can join forces to attack. And believe me, when I show you the computer analysis, first take a proper look at what you missed. You missed a simple. This is what Omkar sir played, suggested or shown by the green arrow. And Vihang, you could have won the pawn on d6. And don't say you were under time pressure. You were not in time pressure. You can see, Vihang, that you had well over 2 minutes remaining. So whenever you get such, one thing is for sure. A player who is of the class of 2100 will not give you repeated chances. You agree to that, right? Player who is rated 2100, he will not or she will not give you a lot of chances. You may get an occasional chance, You have to grab the opportunity with both your hands in order to make the most of the situation. So here rook takes d6 was just massive, and very important that you will realize how massive that is, because now I'm going to show you what the computer thinks. I've already told you why it is important. It's not just about a pawn. It's about that knight on e6 being pinned now. It cannot move. Otherwise, he'll lose the queen. And then you have bishop h3. The queen is already attacking the knight. At one point, it will be impossible for sir to hold on to this position. If you now want the analysis, here you go. Vihang Ghone. I was praising Datta earlier, and now I'm praising you. Against 2100, Vihang, my good student. Even Omkar sir was proud of the way you all played. He told me later. That is it not? You are playing well. Plus 4.2 for Vihang. Everybody can praise Vihang and Datta here. Please give them a round of applause. Really, it's brilliant, is it not? Let's praise them, okay? So kudos to Vihang and Chitij. This is very impressive. The way they have played is just amazing, and just something that I as a coach, I was so happy, Vihang, to watch this position. But you missed this pawn, and then eventually you did lose the game. But here was an opportunity presented, and you had more than 2 minutes. In Datta's case, at least the time was an issue. Come on, there were only a few seconds remaining. But here, you have 2 minutes. Even sir actually had more than 2 minutes. So he thought that he will launch an attack on f2 pawn. But your bishop has it covered. So there's no problem here. I'm sure that, you really have done well. Gopesh is giving a standing ovation. Brilliant. I think more than you standing up for giving an ovation, you should stand up and get up early and then join our stream on time, Gopesh. Do that. Very important. I'm really happy for you. Against 2100, if you are plus 4.2, Vihang, you are winning this game. Now, let us go ahead and find out if someone else also had chance against Omkar sir. So, who else can we talk about? Against Omkar sir, it is, where do we go? Against, Deep versus Omkar sir. Deep also played well. This is Deep versus Omkar sir, and Deep was playing with the black pieces, so I'm going to flip the board. We're going to take a look at it from the black's perspective. So now you understand my happiness, why I was so happy on Friday. Everything was so good. You played well. All of you, really. I was so proud of my students. Wonderful, brilliant students. Even Omkar sir would be happy. Next time, whenever there is an opportunity, grab it, okay, and then win the game. Now this is Deep, and again I will say, whenever we analyze Deep's game, don't forget that he wakes up early. He's playing a tournament at 5:30 in the morning. Imagine you do that. You can clearly understand the focus. So this is Deep versus Omkar sir here. And what is worth studying here? Now, Deep is black. I'm so proud he's employed the Alakine defense. Now this one is a feedback for Deep. I hope he watches it offline. If he's there, he should watch it offline. And this is for all the players who play the Alakine defense. This feedback that I'm giving is for all the players who, like me, play the Alakine defense with black. It's a very important lesson, and Deep should learn this and all those. Even Samarth Vihang employs the Alakine defense from time to time. Chinmay does it, I believe Jai does it. What happens is, whenever opponent as white recaptures in this manner, so what did Omkar sir do here? He recaptured with the pawn, with the B pawn. It is over here that what as black player we should do is have our pawn in the center immediately. Immediately play d5 and take the center. I think Deep missed the trick here, and so there was some pressure in the center later. But whenever our opponent takes a pawn like this, you should immediately push for d5. I would say regardless of, even if he takes the d pawn, you should push it anyway. But then the normal thing is play d6. But especially in such cases, Deep is not with us live, but yeah. What happened? Why saying Gopesh said that he had some other class? Okay, so Gopesh, if you had some other class, excused, but at least be regular. Don't disappear from time to time. If you had a class, then Gopesh, accepted. Your excuse is accepted. I have no problem now. Now, Deep next time I'm sure will push for the d5 pawn. Let's continue with the game. It really went well. Manageable fight put up here. Another lesson in this situation. Pawn in the center, and the second best move is not bishop to g4. Bishop to g4 is one of the moves you want to play as an Alekhine defense player. But here is an important lesson. I will come on cam for that. A very important lesson, and I'm sure the seniors you're watching this, even the juniors who want to play the Alekhine defense, watch this. What piece should you move in the Alekhine defense, or for that matter any opening? Pooja ma'am should also listen to this. Always move the piece with the least scope or the choices. What did I say? One more time. Always develop the piece with the least scope or limited options. Now I will take you to the board to expatiate on this point. Guys, what I'm saying is this bishop can be developed here, can be developed here, and even can be developed on d7. So it is not very clear on where you would want the bishop. At least there is a choice. But look at the other bishop. The bishop on this f8 has only one square. Bishop to e7. Only one square. And you should type it in the chat if you're understanding what I'm saying, guys. You should definitely say that. Okay. The thing about this is always, and Prajna, thank you for putting that line in the chat. Thank you so much, Prajna. Always develop a piece with limited options. So now what I'm saying is that bishop on f8 has only one square. He can only go to that e7 square. The bishop can go to only e7 square. Always develop that piece first, and then worry later about where you are going to put the piece with options. With the lesser option, you play first. And I have no doubt the seniors actually have gotten something nice here. Okay, no doubt about it. Develop the piece with lesser choice first. Okay. Alright. Oh, Shrikant Patel also has acknowledged that. Thank you so much. Okay. Now what? WC is welcome. How many jargons will we remember, Avnish? Now you're typing WC in the chat, which means welcome. I thought it was world champions or something. Anyway, so Deep was putting up a good fight, and let's continue with this game. So he played the bishop here first. Really, did he not play there? Yeah, he played that. And later, it's a good fight. It's going on. Now the position is equal. Again, the pawn in the center on d5 should have been played. Okay, now this is called to take is a mistake. So he took and the queen, but this time it was excusable because of the initiative. Guys, look how the rules have exceptions. Bishop takes, rook takes, and now look at the calculation by Deep here. He is saying, I will take the rook. Omkar sir will have to take the rook. And now with the help of my queen, I will gain a tempo on the queen. This is called gaining tempo. Playing with initiative and tempo. You know this, right? I always say this. Playing with initiative and tempo. This is brilliant calculation. Against 2100, our Deep, who is playing at 5:30 in the morning, has managed in the middle game an equal position. Fantastic. You should be happy with such things. And we can also, appreciate Deep for this. Now what's going to happen? Later, queen was played and had this played. The sequence continued. Exchange. Ooh. Now here, Deep showed again some class act. It's minus 0.8, mind you. Minus 0.8, not plus, minus. But look at the alertness, and I think Vihang will enjoy this. Vihang, now particularly I want a chat from you. Vihang, now we are talking about pin. You all know now, right, what's going to happen? This knight is pinned. If the knight moves back or goes to some other square, hey, rook takes is checkmate. So I'm sure Vihang would have some comments about this. Vihang, some comment about this. Watching the pin. Watching the pin. Shrikant, what is tempo? Tempo means you make the opponent give you the file. What we saw was the rook attack the queen, and Omkar had to move the queen away. So Deep got the access to the E file. You create a threat and the opponent has to respond to your threat. That is called playing with tempo or initiative. The tempo is not the tempo, the goods carrier. Okay, it's initiative. Vihang Gone, any comments? Vihang, are you there? I am sure you should have a comment about this. Watching the pin. Deep at 5:30 is watching this pin. It's very important, and he did not get back rank checkmated. I think he deserves appreciation. Okay, appreciate the focus at 5:30 in the morning. It's not even perfectly morning. I mean 5:30. Come on, it's hardly morning there. So Vihang, I hope you'd appreciate. Let me continue for now. So Deep did not move the knight. Later this happened. Okay, now here is the mistake. It is from this move that Deep started losing the game. Always remember, when you push the pawn, whenever it is that you push the pawn, at times you compromise support. And this happens at the intermediate level. It happens 100%. It used to happen to me a lot as a child. A lot. This was a typical blunder I used to make. So let me be honest and tell you this. 100%. I used to do this a lot. Whenever you move a piece, you stop thinking of what the piece was doing. So what was that pawn on c7 doing? Deep pushed that pawn. What that pawn was doing was supporting the d6 pawn. And that happens. And that really, something very important. Okay? Very important. Now, that is why at this point also, the game against 2100 is drawn. Yes, he has lost some advantage. It was minus 0.8 favoring the lower rated player, in this case our student Deep. But now, even now at this point, it is pretty drawish, this position, perfectly in the balance. But after Deep played this pawn push, this pawn to c5, then he lost that pawn. Let me show you that quickly. I think Ojas has joined us. Hello Ojas. Hello, good afternoon. Probably you've just joined us. So here now, let me show you the game. He played this move c5 and now lost this pawn. But he should have taken the pawn. He didn't take the pawn. Okay, it would be +1. He didn't take the pawn. But anyway, sequence of moves, and eventually Deep lost. Perfectly equal here. Now Deep is winning. It was a topsy-turvy game from here. And now this is important. Watch what happened here. I'll bring you to that point. Okay. Again, an opportunity missed. Pawn was there for the taking. This pawn was there for the taking. But now you would clearly see that I am not going to blame Deep on this at all. At all. Can you guess the reason why? Look at the time. Guys, look at the time Deep has. 8 seconds. So definitely, come on, now some blunders are going to happen. So you cannot blame everything. Easy for us now to say, but when you play, yeah, definitely 8 seconds, come on. So after this, what happened is Deep lost. But I want to give him some credit for putting a decent fight, and at times he was even better. It was a wonderful session. That's all I have for today. This was a wonderful session, and I thoroughly enjoyed bringing this. You can calculate it later. Avnish is appreciating deep here. No doubt about that. 100%. I enjoyed bringing you this. We will wait for Vihang to post a message. So Vihang, I'm asking you again, are you going to create a bullet tournament? I did put that in the notifications earlier, is it not? If you are going to do that, post the message on our WhatsApp group. I am not going to play today, this evening. I don't think I'll play with the under 1400. Next Sunday we will do this. But the under 1400 guys now perfectly know each other. You are a part of Vaidya Chess Hub team now. So wherever you see the green dot, you should go ahead and challenge each other. You should definitely play against each other this evening if you are free. I won't be there live, but you can play against each other. Nobody stopped you from doing that. It is 1 o'clock. I thought I'd be able to do some tactics, but let's not do that. The feedback session has been, really fruitful. I have shared some important insights with you. Again, I will say that I really am proud of all the students. They put up a good fight, and we will this week have a lecture on the checkmate patterns by Omkar sir. Please take care of yourself. We will meet again soon. That's probably on Tuesday. Please take care. Okay. Bye-bye.